What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen and Mentality. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when I post all of my tea talks. Shouts out to everyone that was in the building for our book club. You are more than welcome to come along. By all means, all that information is down below, as well as any of our other church announcements. Now, I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is swell. Hope everybody is just surviving, doing what they can, but doing it to the best of their ability. As you can see, I am wearing one of our t-shirts today. I am about to be on my way out, so I decided to change up some of my scenery a little bit. So we are not in the treehouse, but we're somewhere close by because, let me see. Boom, we got a tree somewhere. There's always a tree somewhere involved. Anyway, so yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. You know, the summertime is about to be here. Allergy season needs to be out the door. All right, everything needs to bloom, or it just needs to rain every day. But either way, I digress. So go ahead, get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you're sipping on, get it and bring it close. This tea talk, it has a story time with it. We briefly brought it up in book club this past week and a half or so, and we were discussing the novel of choice for the month of May, but we had a little side conversation about a quote that was in the book. So I wanted to kind of like give y'all a condensed version of it, so then that way you kind of get to know where you should stand after this. Okay, so anyhow, I think I already told you, get your beverage and bring it close. So in our tea talk, we were kind of conversing about like the cons video. We were conversing about the crabs video. We were conversing about the ways that you know you're being used video. We talked about setting boundaries video. And so it was really interesting. All of those topics, all of those concepts in my head were really on the front line this past like week and a half. Now, this is how we're going to introduce this tea talk. Okay, so sponsored by My Real Life. All right, story time. We need to talk about not just so much of, people come and go in life, not so much of, I want to say, it always being a hit and miss with friendships, relationships, you name it. But I want to tea talk with you all about what it means when people have additional access to you. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was getting to know a gentleman, right? And so, of course, when you get to know people, you have conversations. I don't know about anybody else, but I like to start my relationships off at friendships. I need to get to know who it is when full moon is out. I need to know, are you a wolf, or you're a sheep, or you're an owl? I need to know these things, all right? I need to know if you like Pepsi or Coke. I need to know these things. So, everything was going all right for the most part. For some odd reason, I had this feeling of just being, I don't want to say resistant, but I do want to say reluctant. But needless to say, my mind does not work like everybody else's. So when it comes to getting to know people, I'm a little bit slower at it than most. I don't personally care to date, but just getting to know people is always a good start. So anyhow, so me and this gentleman hung out a couple of times. No mattress fancy, none of that type stuff. Because something, just besides the fact if I didn't feel like I didn't want to, it won't gonna happen anyway. It's just the energy. Sometimes you can kind of tell your next move, and then there's times when you can't. We need to talk about those, okay? Because somewhere in there was a little bit of static. I didn't understand where the disconnection was, but my instincts had my back, all right? always follow your instincts. If it's a bad idea, 9 times out of 10, it's a bad situation. If it's a place you can't, if it's a place God can't go with you, don't go there. All right. Support smart decisions. So I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just nervous, because I don't really deal with the dating scene. As a matter of fact, North Carolina is in the top 7, I think, for worst places to date. But needless to say, I can do and I can do without, preferably in between. It is what it is. I have like a 80-20 concept when it comes to people. 80% of the time, I don't want to deal with the public, but at the same time, that 20% is so potent because we need more people who are going to support smart decisions. So anyhow, we were rapping, talking, getting to know each other, and then somehow, some way, the conversation came up of pretty much he was pretty much in a place where he, quote unquote, said he was ready to build. But the way of how he wanted to build, in my eyes, as being someone who does for themselves independently, I just don't, maybe I'm just getting older, but I just don't understand certain things. So it got to a place in the conversation where pretty much he was just like, I'm ready to build. I think 2 people living in 2 different households is hustling backwards. So I'm just like, if we're not married, I'm not giving up my independence to come in and pay half your bills. That's just how it is. Like, I'm not doing that. Unless I'm married to you, I'm not moving in with you. So, he referenced a conversation from another young lady. And I think that was kind of where my instincts kind of got me, was because, okay, are you getting to know folks to have friends, or are you getting to know folks because you try to see what else is out there while you say old girl has cold feet? I think it's common sense more than it's cold feet, because if she had a whole daughter and then some that she had to raise and all your kids grown, what the fuck she look like moving in with you and your child? No, she raising a child. She don't need 2 more. You know what I'm saying? So that was just my concept. And on top of that, anytime someone asked me twice about kids, it's kind of just like, you're not going to change my mind. And if so happens you already are regretful of who you lay down with and procreated with, no, you don't need to be talking. You don't need to be talking. So I'm just notating all these things in my head, because somewhere, somehow, in the line of me getting answers, something was a little staticky. So he was telling me about, pretty much shacking up with this girl or whatever. And I told him, like, look, if she raising her child and everything like that, she good on her own. Unless you talking about marriage with her, I'm with her. I'm going to stay where I'm at. Because ain't no point in me packing all my stuff up, putting half of it in storage, crowding the place where I'm going, and paying half your bills. No. Okay, men these days, sometimes I honestly feel like they think we're either to just be breeders or cooks, and we're neither. We out here getting checks, making history, and doing everything like men can too. All right, I don't hear nothing about men birthing no babies, except for seahorses. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot that comes with the woman. So her independence, the definition is very broad. So, something told me to ask him, well, how long ago was this conversation? And I know I said it with a smirk, because I think that's when my instincts and my brain and everything else clicked. And I could see in his eyes, he was calculating. So I have another video coming up that's going to address that. Okay. But for the most part right now, I saw in his face he was calculating. So he was like, it was recent. Dead fish in the water, bitch. Dead fish in the water. Let me tell you why. A couple of days later, it hit me again. Why is it seeming so awkward? It wasn't awkward before, but now it's awkward. Now what the hell is going on? So one day I called him, and he wasn't available, so he called me back. And so He was making plans and everything with me, but at the same time, he was like, well, wait, hold on. I got company coming over. Dead fish in the water. Because if you notice, people are real quick to say if their homeboys, their homegirls, their friends, and their family is about to come over. But when some unidentified person comes along, and so it happens it's now a thing of this person has company, I had already, again, pegged it. So maybe like a day and a half later, this is where the tea talk comes in, okay? So I didn't text him or call him all that day. He calls me. And he's like, yeah, I don't want things to I don't want it to seem like I'm being standoffish, but old girl's starting to come around. So I still would like your friendship. Definitely want your friendship. Dead fish is in the water. Never called him back again. I told myself I give this mofo 3 weeks. He'll be walking his dog down my street trying to see what I'm up to, if I'm home, if I change addresses, you name it. Shortchange myself, because here he come 2 weeks later calling my phone. This is what the tea talk is about today. Make sure you know what you're saying. Make sure you know what you're saying, what you're talking about. They're both the same. But needless to say, for me, I didn't see a point, again, leaving a dead trail. Leaving a trail, period. I did right making a dead trail, because for me to have static energy trying to get to know someone, that's already going to be a dead fish for me. Because I don't have time, people don't have time, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You've been with yourself longer than anybody else has been with you. So when it's just good for you just to chuck the deuces and just be happy that you don't have any extension to that person, it is what it is. One thing's for sure, and two things for second. I'm not going to play second fiddle to anybody but the Lord. And even then, the Lord and I are all in the same number, 1. Secondly, men, women, we got to get to a point we understand what we're saying. If you're, you got to make sure it's very clear what it is that you're looking and wanting to build with people. Because these days and times, as far as I'm concerned, as far as human rights is concerned, these folks out here trying to tell us women that we can't do what we need to with our body. Okay, we stuck with the person and we can't do nothing with our body. Okay, if that's the case, we just need to stop fucking them. I don't mean no harm, but at the end of the day, if I'm not going to have a right, then you don't have one either. All right, I lose my right, you lose your benefit. And that's kind of like my mentality now, because when you get older, dating is different. It's not as fast. It's kind of just like, it's crazy, because if you so happen to think about it, an average man has around maybe 2 marriages, maybe 3 underneath his belt. If you think about it, 20s, 30s, 40s, everyone's tastes change. Women, it can be twice as many, or it could be half that, or it could be like me, less than that. But needless to say, your tastes change. So does your mindset. And at some point in time, if you do choose to stick around and see another person date someone in front of you, and you are in second place watching all of this, you need to think about what type of relationship, friendship, situationship you trying to offer. Because either they're going to be your friend or they're not, okay, by your guidelines. Because being a friend doesn't mean that you're going to sit in front of me and, miscommunicate what type of foundation we're trying to build here, and then think I'm going to be a friend and then stand in front of you and watch you do your business. And what? Because you think I'm in the pocket, because you think you can temperature check someone, you feel like you all in the bag. Look, is my friendship a perk or a pull? Is this a lick? Because I don't understand in that where he really thought those words were going to really form to mean something. Again, support smart decisions. Look at the news. Look at how your life is. Look how content you are. Look at what you can do for yourself. Look at your ambitions of how far you can go, how far you've come, and how far you can go. And don't allow anyone to kind of come in and test your instincts. I think honestly that was a test. I thank God I was not distracted, because I still did my 9 to 5. I still did all of my business stuff accordingly. So I pat myself on the back for that, because it lets me know the healing that I have gone through for the last 4 years is working. It's working. So, and like I said, 2 weeks later, he hauls off and calls me back. I didn't answer near phone call nor text. Because as far as I'm concerned, when you had your chance, you decided to push it to the side. I'm not no side. I'm not no a la carte. I'm none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just interesting. The mindset is different for men and women. So, you know, help somebody out there today. You know what I'm saying? If this so happens they don't make sense, you ain't got to be hostile with them. You ain't got to tell them about themselves. But just kind of repeat back to them what they said in the situation. And then this way, you know, you're not holding the mirror up to their face, but you're letting them know at some point people see your reflection, even if you don't want to pay attention to it or you don't give a fuck about it. There's someone out here else who does. So, you know, you got to be careful what type of friendships and stuff that you give additional access to, because like I tell a lot of my warriors in the warrior community, and like I tell a lot of my friends, like, this is not the 1950s, 1980s, 1990s no more. You can't give these people your all right? 2000s, it's all enough that everyone's by themselves, or they using other people to get over on others. So you got to kind of figure out which one is a smart choice, a smart decision, and you got to stick with it. It doesn't make you weak to keep your legs closed, and then it doesn't mean that you're weak if you want to keep your heads in the book and you want to get out your neighborhood. You want to be better. You want to set a better example. You want to show that resilience is real. I think that is a shirt. Resilience is real, okay? So, you know, for all the men and the ladies out there that are going through the times of trying to figure out how to date and just the personalities, these days and times, you got to take longer to know people, because you just don't know when they have a clown suit on and when they don't, all right? So I'm just going to leave that there. You a perk or you a pull? Either way you look at it. I feel like I would say my friendship is a perk, because I think I'm an all-in-one. You know, you get seriousness, you get, you know, humor, you get a good meal, all that good jazz. So anyway, y'all be sure to tell me down below, what is the perk about you? What makes you so advantageous? How about that? You know, highlight something about yourself that's a perk. How about that? Mine is I support smart decisions. All right, so be sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. And until next time, I will talk to y'all later.